Alright, I'm going to tie some jigs today. I'm going fishing in the morning, so I'm going to re-up on my hair jig stash. So you start off with your thread and the bobbin. You run it from the hook side all the way up to the front. And then you run it back over the top of it, so that way you got it cinched down. Can't pull out. Then move it back towards the front. First thing I want to put on, I have a whole bunch of flash, which is just little plastic shiny pieces. I like the silver ones. Actually, I'm going to do this one. It's pretty purple and it has a lot of reflective green in it. It kind of has the color of a shad. If you see shad, a lot of times they have that little purple hint to them. So I got 5 of the purple ones. Double them over and then cut the loop. So you got to cut, double them over one more time, just cut the loop. Then you get a pretty thick strand of them. So you take the purple, or the flashing, wrap it right up there close to the head. And you're going to take your string, just cinch it down to the top of the hook, kind of the backbone of the hook. Go down and then all the way back up. Then I'm going to take a little bit of, the first one I'm going to tie with some bucktail. This is just, every bucktail comes with a regular brown side, and then the bottom where it would be a white tail is like got the color in it. So this one's gray. Probably looks white on the camera, but it's really gray. Take a little bit of it, about this much. Cut that off. Lay it right on the top of the hook. Cinch it down. Go down the hook. I like to keep it right on the very tip top, like the backbone of the hook. You go down, then you move it all the way back up. This Chanel, it's pretty thin. It's brown and it has green sparkles in it. I don't know the exact, I think it's olive, what it technically is. So I take my Chanel, lay it right on the top. Grab it with the string. And like everything else, work down towards the hook. And then right back up. And then you're just going to wrap it. And once you get it wrapped up to the head, you just make a few passes with this thread on either side of it. That way you cinch it in, because you're about to cut the Chanel off. Just like that. Cut the Chanel off. You take this little impressive little confusing tool called a whip finisher. There's YouTube videos on how to work this thing. It's tough. It's confusing for a while. But what you're doing is tucking the tag into the string under the wraps. That way it won't pop out. And make that loop right there. Grab the string with the hook, wrap it over that. Just wrap it a few times. And then I like to take this off and trim it just a little bit. And here's the finished product. For this one, we'll do the same thing. Got a 1/16 ounce white head. Start at the back, wrap it a few times towards the front, and then go back over itself. That way you cinch the tag end down. Then go back to the front. This time I'm going to use the pearl flash. It's looking pretty green in the camera, but it's really bright white pearl and it has a lot of green flashes to it. So this is probably what I use the most. Probably 4 or 5 strands. So I got 3. Double it over, just like last time. Cut the loop. Put them all together. Double them over. cut the loop. This one's long enough. I'm doing it one more time. Double it over one more time. Cut the loop, just like that. Now you turned. Took me a long time to figure that one out. I wasted a lot of the little flash, to get lots of pieces out and just trim ends of it. But if you just take 2 or 3 of them, cut them, double them over like that, you get a really good little group of them at the end. So it looks like that right now. I'm going to do a little bit of brown and gray. We'll get both of those in there. Looks like that. Lay it on top of the jig. Wrap it down towards the barb and back up. I like to create that layer with the hair on top and the flash on the bottom. Just going to use some black Chanel with green sparkles in it. Pull it off. I like to give it a little trim, like I said, make the tail a little bit more uniform. And there you go. Finished product. Like I said, I'm sticking with natural colors because the water is really clear down there. Now I'm going to tie a few rooster tail jigs, or I guess be feather jigs. Those were other ones were bucktail jigs. These are feather ones. I like to tie a few of each. These are just a little bit more time consuming. But you pop out a couple of feathers. The way I like to do it is go down about, I don't know, an 1.25 inches or so. Stick your scissors in where it V's like that. I don't know if you can see it. Right there where it V's. Cut it. So now you're left with the tip of the tail and then this little V. And you go down in about another 1.25 inches and pop that off. I prefer to do 2 tips and one V. So here we are again. Here's another feather. Down a little ways. Stick your scissors in and pop it out right there. So now I have 2 tips and a V. I like to stack them up. Tip, V, then a tip. Stack them on the top, catch it with your first loop. I like to keep them on top of the hook, all the way down and back up. Now I'll take my feathers I had stacked. When you stack them, you kind of get a little bit of an interesting texture to them. Same thing. Set them on top of the hook. Catch them with that first loop. And then move it down and back up. And on this one, I think I'm going to use, maybe this one's olive, I don't know. This one's, it's brown with lots of green flakes in it. It's a little bit thicker. Throw this one on the top, same thing. Catch it with the loop. Go down and back. Right there. And then just start wrapping. There's a lot of nicer vices out there where you can twist them and the jig itself will turn over. I didn't get one of those. I went cheap. Another cool little trick is you can hold this hair down with every wrap because some of the Chanel's fuzzy. Just like the other ones, a few loops to catch it, the tag in from coming undone. Just kind of swoop the thread on either side. Should do. Cut it off with the old whip finish. No, you can't tell me a crappie ain't gonna eat that. Shoot, that's irresistible. Be all over that one. There's some of the jigs I tied. You can see the difference. The top one is the feather jig, the other ones are bucktail jigs. Actually, the second one from the top actually doesn't have any feather or bucktail. It's just the flash and brown. But kind of a close up of them. And like I said, I tied all white heads because it's really clear water over there where I'm going tomorrow, so do my best to keep it natural and pretty neutral colors, nothing crazy. Alright, well, hopefully I rip some lips with some of those tomorrow. I have to go tie them on and get them ready.